What's going on, Jeromes? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good mooning. Happy Sunday. It's beautiful. Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. So, of course, yesterday, the game that was Vikings-Patriots. Patriots win 20-12, where it's really funny. So, Vrabel playing his starters on offense and defense, the bulk of them, right? And everyone's kissing Vrabel's ass, just like, hey, he's building a winning culture there in New England. Like they haven't won recently. That guy. But also, hey, where's this winning culture during joint practices? What happened? What happened on Thursday? What happened? Where, obviously, you never root for injury. It's terrible, right? But I was just waiting because, like, Murphy's Law always takes over, where it's just like, I really hope that a New England star does not get hurt in just a preseason game. Vrabel's in there is like, oh, you had a bad practice. You're going to play. I don't know, man. But either way, so, we talked about the game, and basically it was sort of whatever. All right. No sacks for the Vikings defense. Fistful of pressures, though. Second team offensive line. Sam Howell, Korea's quarterback. There were some highs, there were some lows. Miles Price is definitely a high, because his 81-yard kick return, good return and punts as well. Could get both return jobs, would save a rooster spot. But then also, he had his mitts on the Brosmer game-winning touchdown throw, and just like, yeah. But Price, like we said, he said this after the game. Price, Vikes fan page, Miles Price on playing punt return. That's my favorite position in the world. As long as it gets in my hands, I feel like I got an opportunity every time. And what's interesting, we've talked about this before, and it's always like, hey, if you can return kicks, how come you don't return punts? If you can return punts, how come you don't return kicks? They're two completely different skill sets, right? And there's something to be said about following the rotation of the ball, tracking it, fielding it cleanly, and it's a lot different spin in English coming from a ball that's kicked off a tee versus a punt that, as we've seen, banana ball can certainly be manipulated, spin, everything like that. Plus, punt. I mean, well, the new kick return, like literally, you're never gonna get touched, right? But punt returns, if you don't call a fair catch, or hey, Cooper DeJean, legal fair catch, you get popped. All right, so the fact that Miles Price has the skill set and the wherewithal to do both, it's pretty damn amazing. It's pretty damn fantastic. So, root for Miles Price. Also, our guy Kyrie. I hope if Price makes the 53 that he keeps 31. Getting it done. Why not? Because that'd be great, wouldn't it? That would just be full circle. Last year Kyrie's number retired. This year Miles Price wears it and has a punt or kick return in the Super Bowl. Oh, come on, man. That'd be fantastic. Also, a funny part of the game was, of course, Kevin O'Connell dropping an F-bomb when he was mic'd up, interviewed in the third quarter with, PA and Bursich and stuff, which is good. Because I feel like, so Kevin O'Connell has a clean-cut image. Doesn't really cuss much. I even think, like, when he's mic'd up on the sidelines for, like, NFL film stuff, like, he understands he's mic'd up and kind of tamps it down just a bit. But just a little false start, little F me. It's good stuff. Also, story of the day was Max Brosmer, right? And Brosmer was really impressive. Did not get any help whatsoever. I mean, receivers, 4 or 5 drops. Official numbers come out. I won't be shocked if it's like 6, 7. Right? Pressures wise, sacked 4 times. Pressured about 8, 9, 10 times. It was just the fact that he took a licking and kept on ticking. It's pretty good. Also, this is good too. 4th and 17, Deshaun Jones. Alec Lewis, the Athletic. This throw was pretty nuts. Look where Deshaun Jones is, where Max Brosmer is releasing it with a defender in his face, and the throw is arched over the zone Patriots defender. This is an NFL throw. This is a big-time throw, and there's so many quarterbacks that come out of college, especially like Brosmer was at New Hampshire for 17,000 years, and 1 year with the Gophers. They're more throwers than passers. It's see it, throw it, see it, throw it. And you've seen a bunch with McCarthy. You see it now Brosmer. Like, throwing with anticipation. And, Kevin O'Connell, he just beats it into their brains like, hey, Jesus, take the wheel. Justin Jefferson, take the wheel. Same thing, right? But, with Brosmer, this is a big-time throw. And, I understand, like, at a certain point it sounds hyperbolic, as well as, we're firmly in love with the backup quarterbacks always, with the squad. But Vikings have a little something here with Brosmer. And I want him to play the entire preseason game against Tennessee on Friday. Why not? Let's just do it, right? Because there's so much to like about his game. How quickly he picked up the offense. How even when he was under duress yesterday, like, he didn't seem skittish, wasn't deer in headlights, wasn't seeing ghosts. He was just like, whatever. Gets the ball out quick, processes quickly, gets through his progressions. Arm is accurate, as well as he's got more arm talent than he gets credit for, certainly. And also just the demeanor. And you hear him in interviews, like, he's very mature, has a lot of starting experience. Yes, from New Hampshire, FCS. But, with the Gophers last year, like, he was operating. And you almost wish that, hey, how come we got 1 year Brosmer and 17 years of Tanner Morgan, huh? Or 17,000 years of Mitchell Leidner? 4, whatever. But I truly think that something's there. Now, part of it is our guy Slinging Sam Howell, a.k.a. quarter of Korea's quarterback. Now, I know that Howell's mom is going to be in our comments, whatever. But Vikes fan page, Sam Howell's day seems to be done. Brett Rippon ass chicken in. Rippon was sort of slow to start, but then 2-minute drill, all right. Howell ended with 1 of 5 passing. The one completion was a little dump off to Nick Vannett. 13 passing yards, 1 interception, and 0 pass rating. The interception was quite possibly the worst throw that I've seen, a Vikings quarterback throw. And we lived through Josh Freeman. We lived through when Passionate was bad. We lived through, what was Kirk Cousins? Sure. A Spurgeon win. Yeah, Todd Bowman, St. Cloud State. He was all right. Was Rushton Tyler Ruthen? That's probably correct. Go check it out. Again, my brain is very stupid. Like, ask me Ezra's middle name. Ask me my third kid's middle name. It's probably Yao or something. I don't know. But yeah, Howell was not good. Like, honestly. So at a certain point, like, pressure is just pressure, right? And I understand that Howell was going against the Patriots' first teamers for the bulk of his time is out there, but pressure is pressure at a certain point. How do you react to pass rushers in your face? Howell, and we've seen this at joint practice, we've seen this on Saturday, we saw this all through training camp going against Flores. Howell gets a little skittish. And it harkens back to another quarterback that wore number 8 in Vikings purple. Don't know. And now you're starting to see why Howell threw so many interceptions for the commies. And you see how Rippon reacts to pressure. A little bit skittish. Mechanics go out the window. But with Brosmer, again, at a certain point it seems like we're just blowing smoke up the kid's ass. I do not care. Right? But when Brosmer's facing pressure, like, calm, dialed in, get the ball out quick, quicken up that clock in your head, slightly move from the pocket, buy more time. I feel like if you take the nameplates off the jersey and the resume from the player and just tell me who looks better, I mean, it's Brosmer all the way, right? Now, will the Vikings give the job to an undrafted free agent quarterback? I don't know. But what's the point? You're just going to give him the job next year, so who cares, right? Plus, Howell, as well as Rippon ass, are on league minimum deals, and they're not under contract through after this year, so I don't know. But Kevin Seifert, ESPN, who's not Carl Gerbschmidt. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell on the number 2 quarterback job. There's a reason why we're playing all 3 of them. As far as what that means in overall competition, I think I would just say that it's still open, and we're trying to figure out what that room is going to look like for the season. So I think that they hang on to at least 2 of them. Maybe they bring in a 4th quarterback for the practice squad because, first off, Brosmer's making the 53. I don't think there's any way that you get him through waivers onto the practice squad at this point. So if I was to cut one, it'd be Rippon because I just feel like his ceiling is not there. Howell does have a ceiling. He just needs to calm down. Now, God forbid, knock on wood, if anything happened to JJ, who would you put in? Howell or Brosmer? Don't know at this point. And also there's a couple of ways to read Kevin O'Connell's comments. So okay, he hasn't named a quarterback 2. That means it's open. Maybe Brosmer has a chance. Also, on the other hand, he doesn't really have to name a quarterback 2. And also, he technically hasn't named J.J. McCarthy quarterback 1 either, right? And he never named Howell officially quarterback 2, but everything about him was quarterback 2. Second team reps through most of training camp. Did get benched once. Then obviously, the first one taking snaps after J.J. McCarthy, if applicable, in preseason. So I don't know. Also, great update here about Justin friggin' Jefferson and his mild hamstring strain. Kevin Seifert again. Kevin Connell, when asked if Justin Jefferson hamstring will return to practice this week, he's definitely going to hopefully start doing more and more. Non-answer. Kevin McConnell's starting to learn how to play the game. I can't say what that's going to look like from a practice standpoint yet. Said there have been no setbacks, which is good to see. And as we point out, Jefferson's out here running, jumping, having fun. Doesn't have a sleeve on that left hamstring, so yeah. Also, Jefferson last practiced 23 days ago. Anyone who has been to camp has seen him bouncing around. I just said that. Bouncing around the practice field. Team Jefferson have prioritized health for week 1 over whatever benefits exist for working with the rest of the offense. So I feel like that's been the major concern for us and for a lot of Vikings fans. JJ is building up. JJ as a McCarthy is building up this great chemistry with Addison, building up this great chemistry with Hockenson. He's not going to have that with Jefferson. Who cares? They'll figure it out. It's just a freaking Jefferson. That is all. All right. Also, injuries in the wide receiver department. Al Close, the Athletic. Kevin Connell was asked by Judd about Jalen Naylor. Kevin Connell said he's still in the eval phase for that jammed hand, but Kevin Connell said the hope is that it's not a long-term injury. And Vikings depth-wise, so Jefferson, pretty confident he'll be ready for week 1. And whatever happens, happens. Addison, 3-game suspension. Naylor, jammed hand. Lucky Jackson, maybe he has 2 jammed hands because he's dropping balls all over the place as of late. Whether it's in games, he had 2 or 3 drops in the game. And also during joint practice, he had several drops. And it's kind of, Rondale Moore, Deshaun Jones. Thayer Thomas has put on some good tape as of late. Deshaun Jones, was the star of the drive with Brosmer. Also, Tim Jones, has been out here doing some good work with Brosmer as well. Then you got Fleming's had some moments. Miles Price is definitely going to make it. Silas Bolden, he was our guy, but I think Miles Price has certainly overtaken him. The pride of Indiana. Go Hoosiers. That's right. Also, what's kind of funny, too, Ty Felton had a couple of catches, but bring him along slowly. Sure, whatever happens, happens. Also, this is kind of funny. Brandon Powell, a former Vikings wide receiver, former Rams, also has some experience with Kevin O'Connell as well as Wes Phillips. It was in attendance at the game. They posted on Instagram, here for my kids, Deshaun Jones, as well as Thayer Thomas, 2 former teammates. Brandon Powell, I love it, man. And, if you're going to bring back a player that knows the offense, Powell wouldn't be bad. KJ Osborne, if he doesn't make the commies, wouldn't be bad. Tristan Jackson would have been great, except he got hurt, got placed on injured reserve by the Cardinals, so who knows. Yeah. Also, 2 players that should make the 53. So Elijah Williams needs to make the 53. The Pride of Mercer, 90-man addition after rookie minicamp, UDFA tryout, he's so sleek he gets in the backfield, stops the run, able to get pressure, and he's just out there working every single down, every single way. And I think that he does have a shot to make the 53 because Levi Drake Rodriguez suddenly with that injury, I feel like he could be a candidate for short-term IR, and maybe Elijah Williams takes that spot. Certainly possible because Allen Hargrave Phillips, Redmond, TID are locks. Taki, possibly. Maybe get him on the practice squad to start. LDR, maybe short-term IR to start. I think Elijah Williams has definitely shown enough that he needs to be considered for the 53. Also, in consideration, one of the reasons why the Vikings part of awesome was that Austin Keys been rising up. He's been doing good. He's been running with the twos quite a bit in practice as well. He and Kobe King got the start against the Patriots in the game. 7 tackles, 3 solo. Also recovered the Ty Felton fumble on the kick return. And the pride of Auburn's been Johnny on the spot. 5-6 getting things done. He's definitely interesting. Where I feel like he has a shot at minimum practice squad. And maybe rising up from there. Who knows, man? Anyways, that's it. That's it. Vikings news done for this beautiful, glorious Sunday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.